never happened to me, but it just about happened to me.
I was like, this is wrong. We just can't do this.
And I'm 47. In high school, that happened to me. When I was a senior in high school.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, I was with a blonde, and then she was the hottest thing I'd ever seen. You know, for me, for Howard Stern. And I remember and everything was done. And I remember saying to her, I said, I can't go through with this. I said, you're talking about your boy. No, I was done. She had no idea.
Did you have a bag on?
Yeah. And I just went, oh, the bag, the 12 bags wouldn't stop me.
Because they couldn't tell if you had the bag.
I'm the horniest guy in the world. And I just said, I don't think we should have sex because you're just crying about your boyfriend and you keep talking about him and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, oh, I don't believe this. I go, well, I just don't want to do it. Meanwhile, I was all done. And it was a great way to cover.
Nice.
You remember I met a girl.
And how about this? I took matters into my own hand twice when I got home, before I picked her up at school.
It never seems to help.
No. I came home. I did it to myself. I waited an hour, did it again. Then I went and picked her up at her high school. I was a senior. Brought her back to my house. My mom was at work. Yeah, we had some cocktails and some pot in the garage. Bam, got her into my bedroom. That was it.
But wait a minute now, as an adult, did you try... You knew these girls were hot, whoever they were. Did you try relieving yourself beforehand? Like before you picked them up?
I didn't think I needed to. But I tell you.
Obviously you did.
And have an accident. Terrible accident.
It's tough, man. I had a girl, I was working her for a while. She's really hot.
And you want to make good love to her?
And I wanted, and it was like I've been working her for a while, you know. So we're at my apartment and we're making out, and she says, "I'm moving to the bedroom," which is really sexy. So I said to her right, because that means like come and bang me.
This is it.
I said to her, I got to warn you, you're really hot. I've been dying to do this with you. I'm not going to be last very long this time, just so you know.
Oh, that was cool.
I told her right up front. She understood. And I didn't.
You didn't.
Barely made it to the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yo, I would tell you a crazy sex story, too. When I was in college, I was on bottom, and we were getting down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to it. So would turn over, and as she's turning over, she hits her head on the dresser that was like right back of the bed.
Yeah.
And she's like out for like 20 seconds.
Oh,
wow.
You knocked her out?
Yeah, no, she hit her head. She was crazy.
Yeah.
So then, so I'm like, what do? I mean, I think like I'm a rapist or something like that, right? So,
what do you
I'm
do?
like smack her in the face, like, hey, are you okay? Are you all right? So finally she got up and, finished.
Wow.
Nice.
Hey, I know a guy.
What would you do if a girl passes out? You have to stop, right?
No. You want to know something? I know a guy. He's with this chick.
Yeah?
They have sex twice. She's so hot. I know the chick. So she falls asleep. They were drunk. He falls asleep. He wakes up in the middle of the night. He's looking at her naked. Thinks she's so hot. He's trying to wake her up to have sex with her again. Can't wake her up. So he pleasures himself while he's looking at her. And, well, let's just say her butt was very messy.
Had a map on it?
Yeah, right, yeah. And then he just fell asleep, so when she woke up...
Oh, no!
She was, like, all messed up. She didn't know.
No, and she had no idea.
Yeah. Ralph, you're on the air. Ralph, hi.
Well,
did you ever hear that story?
Yeah, I think when I told it to you.
I was going to say it sounds like he knows it pretty well.
Go ahead.
That time we were out with Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
At that strip club around that time.
Yeah.
I've been kicking myself in the head over that. Do you think I could have
you should.
You think I could have gotten her?
I'm not just saying this to make you feel better, to kiss your ass, but she was into you. I mean, she just kept like, I can
really
sum up a situation. She kept like staring at you, and she's telling you these stories that are just like, she's just rapping to you.
But then, so then we started kissing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was kissing Pam Anderson.
Yeah, you were.
How was that?
It was great.
With tongue?
What? I don't really remember. I was pretty drunk.
Wait a second. You kissed Pam Anderson, and it didn't occur to you that you could close that deal?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Don't think I'm lame. I'm telling you what happened.
Like
no.
You gotta be lame. You gotta be lame.
It wasn't like that. Ralph, you were there.
Get used to the idea.
No,
she
Ralph,
gave
you
you
were
an
there.
opening.
Here, Ralph.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
What?
She was not into me.
Dude, I think she was.
Yeah, I don't. I know when a chick's into it.
Pursue a girl like that a little bit.
Nah, I don't. Ralph, you know me. Do I pursue anyone?
I know her type.
Oh, yeah.
It's big black guys. And believe me, I ain't Pam's type either. Because here's how I played it with Pam. We were screwing around, you know, just kissing us, nothing heavy. And it was getting late for me. I had to go do the show. She wanted to go to another club or something like that. And I was like, I ain't going to another club. So I said to her, bottom line.
What?
Bottom line, she knew where to find me. She knows my number.
Oh, see, that ego, man.
Hold it a second. If she wanted it, she would have.
Engraved invitation.
Yep.
You got to pursue a girl like that a little bit.
Nah, I don't. Ralph, you know me. Do I pursue anyone?
No.
Right.
But for her, you got to pursue.
What? You don't want Pamela Anderson.
I ain't pursuing her.
Swallow your pride and go back
I am not going to pursue her.
He's going to wait till Pamela Anderson asks him.
That's right.
And you know when that's going to be.
That's it.
That girl doesn't do that.
Well, she can do what she wants.
When she can't have guys asking her.
You know what the problem
I'm
is?
the man she can't have.
The problem is you say you don't pursue anyone, neither does she.
That's right.
Yeah,
Not yet, anyway.
there.
So Kid Rock wins. What can I tell you?
He did the ask.
He's the better man.
Do you think he worked hard?
No, I think he asked when she showed some interest.
You know,
no, I don't think he worked hard at all.
Either.
You know, I met Pamela at
Pamela.
Natby once out. I swear I could have dated her.
Well, there you go.
Why didn't you?
Because I wimped out because I thought she was too big for me.
Hey, maybe I thought that too.
John and I, let me just say, John and I hung out with her one night for a couple of hours, and I didn't see any sparks of any kind.
No, I don't mean there. It was like.
You know what I'm saying?
Were you rubbing her leg, John?
No, but she like stood there, and I said hello, and she said hello, and we were both in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she wanted it.
Wait, if I
she was about to say,
you know what, dude?
She would have said yes.
Pam is a friendly girl, and that's where you can't get confused.
Yeah,
you can tell when a woman wants you, and you can tell when a woman's just being friendly.
Yeah, I heard she was into Beetlejuice, too. I heard she came on to Beetlejuice.
Yeah, right.
You know how I know she wasn't interested in John? We sat with her for 2 hours, and they were talking about their kids a lot. That's a way you know.
That's how you get in.
Hey, I should make I don't mean to interrupt the fun, but this is a breaking news story, a serious news story.
What?
A plane has crashed, hold it, into the World Trade Center.
You're kidding.
The World Trade Center is on fire, which is
What is going on?
Really? Let me look out my window.
It's the tallest.
Just heard you right there.
Was it like one of those private planes?
Thank God you're
Oh,
alive.
dude.
You see it?
Dude, it's just hot. Oh, my God. I got to go out on my roof. This is incredible. The whole thing is on fire.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, not a little fire.
No, it's huge.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
If a plane hits a building.
I gotta run.
How did it take so long to happen?
I'll call you back.
Right, I know. I'm always amazed.
Because, you know, a plane once crashed in the 40s. A plane crashed right into the Empire State Building, like right in.
Right.
What kind
But
of plane?
what kind of plane? Was it a private, stupid plane?
I don't have any more details. I'm following this story.
I hope this wasn't one of those, like, terrorist kamikaze attacks.
You know what? He's preparing to
Let's get back to you and Pamela.
sit in on for Dan Rather. That's why he's being very serious.
Yes.
Taking over.
This is my audition. We go now to Sandra Rodriguez, who is on the site at the World Trade Center.
Hello.
Sandra? Hello, Howard. The fire is going very rapidly. Yeah, I'm going to be taking over Dan Rather when he retires. Hey, Howard. But it's a very serious story. I mean, I'm sure there's... but fortunately, it's early in the morning. Maybe not too many people are in the building.
Yeah, hope not.
You know what? That's a financial building. Those people get in really early.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. It's like...
For the international market.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they do there, though?
I'm not sure if the plane is... Like, a portion of the plane isn't actually stuck into the building.
It looks like something's hanging out there.
You see on the left-hand side of your screen?
Yeah. I got you.
I don't know if you can see it.
Good Lord.
Oh, they just pulled back for you.
Yeah.
See that?
Is that a helicopter?
I think it's a helicopter that's hovering around to see what's going on.
No, I see what he's saying.
Right up
It's
there.
a piece of the plane hanging off the building. I don't know if that's smoke or a piece of the plane.
You can't really tell.
Dude, it's really smoking.
Yeah. Huge fire.
It's like Towering Inferno, because once it gets started, what happens?
Imagine
I
being
hope they
trapped
built
in
it
there.
better than that hotel.
Well, how are they going to get... They're not going to get hoses up there. They're going to have to rely on the sprinkler
Sprinklers
system.
and all that?
And you know how well they work in the city.
But these stairwells are all...
You can't drag a hose up there? Wow.
Don't they have a ladder that goes that high?
I don't even know how you begin to fight that fire.
Sand.
What do you want to know about Pam?
Okay, so then you're...
So we were hanging out. We were at Scores.
You're kissing her. At that
It wasn't like a big makeout. It wasn't like that.
But she wasn't pushing you away either.
No, she was just being a little bit playful. But
so
Did you feel her breasts?
What?
Did you feel her breasts? Be honest. Come on. Did you feel?
You know, God's honest truth, I don't remember.
That's a yes.
I don't remember.
No, you would remember if you
I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did.
Like, did you pull a butt close?
I felt their butt.
Oh.
How then do you not close?
You were just inches away.
Closed.
You were inches away from the big
You
Y.
banged
What?
it.
You were inches away.
I did not.
You did it?
No, I didn't. I never banged Pam Anderson. Never.
Did you? Okay. Do I have to go through the whole list?
I swear on my kids' life.
Did you get hand relief from Pam Anderson?
Does
No.
he have his fingers
No.
crossed?
No, I told you what I did. I'm being honest. Pam, I think, would admit to this. I'm not telling anything out of school.
Was it clear who initiated the kissing?
I'm sorry?
Was it clear who initiated the kissing?
Like, did you initiate or did she?
She did.
How'd she kiss?
Oh, you idiot.
You weren't there. You don't even. Well, actually, you were there. You don't even know that.
You're such an idiot.
Why are you shaking your...
I've never called you an idiot. And believe me, there's some cause for it. You weren't there. I know how to assess a woman's situation. I was not there. I was far from there.
You had the winning lottery ticket. You threw it away.
I invited her back to my place. And she wanted to go to a club.
You didn't invite her back to your place.
I did. I was there.
You just said you told her where you would be.
I'm telling you, I said, hey, maybe we should all go somewhere. And when a girl could take that and say, okay, let's go. But she was like, nah, I want to stay with my friends.
She wanted a little foreplay.
No.
She wanted to go out to the club with your drink if you
Whatever. Whatever. I didn't have time to work it.
You didn't have time to work it that
I'm not going to sit. And want to know the truth? I wasn't going to sit there and work it all night. I wasn't going to put in the time.
How'd she kiss, by the way?
Oh. It was fine. It was a peck. It was nothing. It wasn't anything serious.
I take back my idiot.
Yeah, it's nothing. It was nothing serious. Believe me, if I saw the glimmer of hope, if I saw the second of any kind of opportunity, I would seize it. I never turned down that.
It has a girl.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't touch you,
no, I got a little jealous. It was not.
You got to watch your monitor. They're going to play back. There was just an explosion.
you know
never. Whatever. I didn't. No.
She wanted to go out to the club with your drink if you
Whatever. I didn't have time to work it.
You didn't have time to work it that
I'm not going to sit. And want to know the truth? I wasn't going to sit there and work it all night. I wasn't going to put in the time.
How'd she kiss, by the way?
Oh. It was fine. It was a peck. It was nothing. No, it wasn't anything serious.
I take back my idiot.
Yeah, it's nothing. It was nothing serious. Believe me, if I saw the glimmer of hope, if I saw the second of any kind of opportunity, I would seize it. I never turned down that.
That sounds like a Ganji story, though, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not.
You know what a good litmus test is? When you kiss a girl, and if she touches you when you kiss her,
there was no touching. It was very playful.
She wasn't touching you?
But if she doesn't touch you, you get nothing. That's how it works.
I know the difference when someone...
Was she sitting on your lap?
No.
At this time?
No.
Where was she?
She couldn't sit on my lap. Natalie was on my lap. And she got a little jealous, that's all.
So she leaned over and started kissing?
She gave me a kiss.
Howard.
It was not leaving a tongue. It was nothing.
Oh, dude.
Go ahead, Tom.
You got to watch your monitor. They're going to play back. There was just an explosion.
Oh, let me see.
4, 3.
This is. What happened, Tom? What do you know?
I mean, all I know is that apparently a plane. I've heard Channel 2 describe it as a. It looked like someone was driving. A drunk driver driving a car flew into the building.
Was it a terrorist attack?
Look at that.
Unbelievable.
It's a huge hole.
See what's going on at the World Trade Center, and about. There's
wow, look at that.
Just happened in 20 seconds.
It's even lower now, the explosion.
Looks like a movie.
It is. Yeah, it does. It looks like a movie special effect.
I'm telling you, it's Pam Anderson's jet.
Oh, stop.
Vinny, what are you talking about?
There's no time to be making a...
This is not even a joke.
Wait, hold on. Is the other one catching fire now?
Gene Simmons is in there.
What was the Gene Simmons thing?
Gene Simmons blew up.
Wait a second. Let me see that again.
2.
Pull that up again.
1.
Does it look like the other buildings are caught now.
Well, yeah, this is going to be massive. Are there people in the building? There's got to be people in the building.
But I mean, I don't know who said it was Gary or John, but you're right. I mean, how does the fire department deal with this?
I don't know.
Well, they said emergency crews are rushing to the scene.
That's a hole like the Oklahoma City hole in a building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There it is.
That's a heart.
That's flames, man.
See,
that's
really the second building, so...
Oh, my God.
No.
It's the one on the
Second building's on fire.
That's right. The one on the right has a hole in it.
There's a hole in it. The other one's the one that
No, I think it was the
That's
back.
a reflection.
I think it was the backside of the first building.
That's a reflection.
At least I hope it was.
So anyway, Pam Anderson.
There was just a rumor. Somebody just called and said that on CNN a second plane just crashed into one.
Stop
A second plane.
That's two different buildings.
They are two buildings, and that is lower.
So it's a terrorist attack, isn't it?
That's what they're saying.
It's got to be.
Somebody just called
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
A second plane might have crashed, and a second building is on fire.
Why does everyone go to the World Trade Center?
What do they do there?
It's a big target.
Landmark in New York.
Well, it's the biggest landmark in New York, really, isn't it?
Next to
It's the tallest.
Oh, my God.
And it's a place where people can be killed. Like, you can't take down the Statue of Liberty. Nobody's going to be killed there.
4, 3.
Hey, maybe I should put the sound on.
1.
Yeah, give me some sound.
What's all that? Hold on.
Oh, that's flying in the air. You see that?
Looks like papers or something.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of debris and stuff.
And this will be a good opportunity for me to act like Dan Rather.
Yes, you can practice.
Because I'm going to be
when they call.
Does this scare you?
Yes, it does scare me. We're totally too lax in this country.
4, 3,
Let me tell you.
2.
Tell me if you're ready.
1.
Did you see that movie Swordfish, Howard?
Now at the scene, we should tell you that approximately 40,000 people work in the World Trade Centers between the two towers. Each building 110 stories tall. And joining us on the phone again is John McLennan. He works at 200.
I hope it's not Captain Jenks.
And has witnessed some of this unfold.
As have we, just before 9 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Hello? Just before, John, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just before 9 o'clock this morning, an unbelievable event happened, catastrophic event. A plane crashed into the World Trade Center Tower number 1 not more than 3 minutes ago. A second explosion happened at Tower number 2. We're being told that it could have been another plane, although what we saw was just an explosion. And again, Michael, you said 40,000 people work at World Trade Center. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're efforting. Reporters on the scene are trying to get down there. Marcella Palmer, namely, as many others that we have called in and heading down there. We're trying to get people who have been eyewitnesses to this to call us so that we can hear what they know and what they've seen. We're hearing that it could have been a Boeing 737 or an Airbus from one of our witnesses.
So it was two planes?
We're not still sure.
So you think it was two planes?
They're not sure.
On the second World Trade Center tower.
They don't know.
But if it was one of those size planes, those are huge jets.
We have no confirmation on the injuries, as Lisa mentioned. We have no knowledge as to how many people involved. However, our producers are telling us now that we do have some videotape of the second plane, and you can see it there.
Where? I didn't see it. Oh, whoa.
This is crazy.
We're under attack.
Going into
And
buildings.
from our vantage point, clearly difficult to tell.
We're under attack.
What type of plane that is, but it's a horrific scene.
All right, we've just been told also, Michael, sorry, the New York Stock Exchange is being evacuated, as is, I'm sure, much of Wall Street, if not all of it, as much as possible. But the New York Stock Exchange has suspended trading for the moment.
It's war. Come on.
Everyone tries to get out.
It's the Japanese.
Area.
This is Pearl Harbor.
Right, we got to go bomb everything over there now.
We got to bomb the hell out of them. You know who it is. I can't say, but I know who it is.
That's crazy.
This is more upsetting than me not getting Pam Anderson. What is that, Tom?
There it is. There it is. Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Going into
what are you saying, Tom?
I've never seen anything like, obviously.
Me neither.
Nobody's ever seen anything like that.
Oh, my God.
So that's a suicide mission.
Yeah, suicide mission.
They're doing it over here now.
We can't put words in the FAA's mouth or any flight.
I know who's doing it.
Tower information.
There's no way a 737 would do that.
And on what seemingly is a relatively clear New York day, two plane impacts. One you just witnessed there, saw on tape.
It's a suicide mission.
Yeah.
We're at war.
Look at that.
And who are we at war with?
9, the second one.
Is this our Chopper 2 picture?
Not long after 9. This is, I believe, a picture from Chopper 2.
That's
Jim Smith, are you up there?
Yes, we are, Michael and Lisa. We have been forced to stay about 5 miles away from the World Trade Center. A flight restriction has been put in place, but right now we are looking at live pictures. The tower on the left, that is tower number 1. And we can tell you that we can still see the flames and smoke coming out of that, as well as the tower to the right. That is tower number 2. You can see the damage to that about the middle of the building. Just incredible what we are witnessing here from about 5 miles away from the World Trade Center.
Jim, I don't know if you were able to see the videotape that we showed moments ago, and if you have any information at all as to what type of plane and what carrier may be involved.
Well, we did not have that as of yet, Michael. Unfortunately, we were unable to see.
The attacks occurred 18 minutes apart.
Baker is right now talking with air traffic control. We're trying to determine what exactly happened here, what type of plane, to be exact, was involved here, as well as the carrier involved.
We're showing people, again, that videotape that was shot just moments ago of that second plane making impact into the second of the trade centers. Again, both 110 stories tall, 40,000 people working between them.
Dominic is on the phone. He seems to want to say something. Yes, Dominic. Oh, he's gone. What is it, Joey Boots?
Howard, hey, I'm down on West 4th Street. We heard the first explosion. We went outside. We're watching the smoke come out. There's a hole in the side of the building. All of a sudden, maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes later, there was another plane flying around, and that disappeared into the building also, and you had like a third explosion after that.
How big did that plane look?
The second plane was a decent-sized plane. It looked like it would hold maybe 50, 60 people.
Really?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Like, we're looking on TV, and the World Trade Center is so big that it looks like a tiny
plane. From here. You couldn't even believe the sight. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. We heard the first explosion. It rocked my friend's apartment, and he lives West 4th Street, and that's downtown, and we could see the Twin Towers right from here. There's smoke billowing out of the side of the building. There's a hole in the side. Then we saw the other plane flying around after we were out there watching it for a few minutes, and that plane disappeared into the building, and it blew up.
They're flying right into the building.
This is them towelhead bastards.
Well, we don't know who it is.
We don't know yet, but I got a feeling.
It could be... you
can't say that, but I can say that. It's about time we take these towelhead bastards and throw them out of the damn country.
Well, don't overreact
We're too
yet.
nice to people,
Let's find out who it is. We're going to find out. Once I find out...
Then we'll get crazy.
Then we'll get crazy.
I got a lot of friends that work in that building. I'm sitting here watching it burning right now.
I know, Joey.
The attack happened, and I just
you know people down there?
Now.
You do? I do, too.
My father used to work in that building.
Who does?
My father used to work in that building.
Yeah, we know tons of people down there.
Mr. X used to work in that building.
Yeah, I know that.
My wife used to work in that building.
Let's go to Mike, who works in the building next door. Joey Boots, stay on the line. Yeah, Mike.
Hi. Howard, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's crazy over here. It's like chaos. It's like the Armageddon.
Of course.
The first plane we didn't see. But
you ought to get out of your building, dude.
All we saw was fire. Then the second time, we actually saw the plane circle around and then smash into the building.
Plane.
We're under attack.
Could you see
there are people flying planes into New York City and crashing into buildings.
It's chaos. There's people all over the place.
You saw the plane?
I saw the second plane.
What did it look like? Did it look like a commercial plane?
No, it looked like maybe one of those Airbus type things, like an MD-80.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Howard, anybody else that's out there listening now that's working at New York City landmarks, take my word, be on the lookout right now, because these guys, they like to do these in multiple numbers.
There could be more coming in.
That other bombing, they're going to bomb a whole bunch of sites. Make sure everybody takes watch and...
There's the Air Force.
Howard.
The Air Force is stunned. What?
On a more serious note, you're a big pussy. You didn't touch Pamela Anderson?
No, we're back on that. Dude, I'm telling you.
We can talk about that anytime.
Yeah, you can brag on me tomorrow. I'm in the middle of organizing a military action. Thank you.
Like, how do you combat this, though?
You know how. Reagan stopped them.
No, but I'm saying... in there and you teach them a lesson.
We know where these people are.
Yeah.
We know exactly where they are. We need to send some cruise missiles over there right now and just start bombing the hell out of them.
Today.
We're always worried about the innocent civilians who live around.
You know what? Innocent civilians, so what? They shouldn't be living by these guys, supporting them, all that crap, okay?
How about this? We won't do anything.
What about
We won't. We won't do anything. You wait and see.
Trust me, you will.
GW better get on the stick.
GW, you're listening to this right now. You better bomb the hell out of those towel heads.
Howard, what was the end result of, after the whole World Trade Center bombing and all the trials and everything else, how many guys...
Nothing happened.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Well, some guys went to jail. Yeah. Big deal.
Like 4 guys.
Where's this
Obi? Do some strategic
where's Obi Bin Laden or whatever his name is?
We never declared war on.
Hey, Howard. They tried to get Bin Laden at 3 different places. Remember that?
Oh, come on. We can't get Bin Laden. Then there's something wrong in this world.
Hey, Howard, I just talked to a guy. He just went by with a fire scanner. So there's multiple casualties.
Of course.
It's 9 o'clock. Everybody's at work at 9 o'clock. They timed it just perfectly. The opening of the stock market, everybody going to work.
How do they get a plane? I don't know.
2 planes.
How fast it's spreading, Aaron?
2. Oh, the whole building's going up.
Those buildings are just going to be, they're like matchboxes now.
Yeah, but everybody
let me go back to the news report for a second. Let's hear what's on the news.
Was planned by a terrorist group, or it can be just that the air traffic control system completely crashed. This is going to take a lot of investigating.
The air traffic control system.
Like a crazy air traffic control.
See, they're not allowed. Hold it. Visually, no, it's a clear day in New York. There's no way two planes crash into the World Trade Center.
They're a legitimate news organization. They're not allowed to say what we're thinking, which is obvious.
You know, evaluate some of the injuries. They were.
I see that second plane flying around there. It disappeared, and then there was an explosion.
You know what? Today is primary day.
I mean, it's pretty sensible to me what happened.
Medical service ambulances are also on alert. Remember, when there was the prior crash, there were 1,000 injuries.
I can't believe I'm seeing this either.
Today is primary day, Howard, and it also means that we're losing our mayor, Giuliani, and I really think he should declare, like, something and just stay in office.
He should declare a state of emergency. And
we can't afford to change.
You see all the stuff falling? Now debris falling to the street below.
Yeah, anyone in that area ought to get the hell. You guys, are you really a Joey?
Could come down.
Yeah.
No, that's far enough.
He's far enough away.
You're far away?
No, I'm down on West 4th Street. I'm fine. But I'm hearing on the radio they're talking about the plane is inside the building. There's multiple casualties. Howard, these towelheads, I'm telling you, we let them come to this country. They're here illegally, a lot of them. We don't even kick them out.
Well, we're letting everybody in here illegally.
Could the plane have been, like, loaded with explosives or something, you know?
Sure.
I mean, come on. What would you do if you wanted to bomb something? You'd lead it
But
with
just sticking a plane, just flying a plane into there would blow up the whole thing.
You know, I don't know how true it is, but I think while we were on vacation, I read in one of the newspapers that they are actually, you know, like honoring the families of these suicide mission guys they have over in the...
PLO does that after they blow up an Israeli, town.
The family gets compensated.
Yeah, the family is treated like heroes.
Is it Hamas or Hezbollah?
Hamas.
Hamas.
Joey, thanks.
All right, Howard.
Bye-bye.
See, now, shouldn't there be, like, planes now flying over, dropping water and stuff? Isn't that the only way they're going to, like, put it out?
Maybe that's how they put out forest fires. Maybe that's how they do it. I don't know anything about it.
It's inside the building, though.
At that point, that's like jet
fuel,
electrical.
Yeah. Hey, wasn't that building like taller than what is that building there? The big building.
Empire State Building.
Oh my God!
Wasn't it taller than it was before? Look how much it's disintegrated.
Oh, you're a
It's in the foreground.
You know what? You got to go talk to horses in the winter circle.
Oh my God!
You are such a nutcase.
No, I'm serious. You didn't see that?
Howard, how could you live in New York and go, what building is the Empire State Building?
You see that building over there? What is that?
That's the Empire State Building, Casey.
Casey's going to be like, as long as they don't hit the girl holding the torch.
Right, the girl holding the torch.
Hey, Howard, why's my hand bigger than the World Trade Center?
Yeah, because
They don't look so big.
Because it's on TV, dude. Nick, you're on the air.
Really why?
Yeah, I just called to tell you that the other guy who called and said it was the towelheads may be wrong. The State Department yesterday issued a terrorist watch for all Americans in Peru due to the extradition of the drug lord Daniel Ochoa to America.
Wow. Well, let's bomb them, too.
Let's bomb everyone.
But that's not a bad idea. Either that or it was Jackie the Joke Man.
Let's drop A-bombs. Oh.
But you see how it's spreading the building to the right, Howard? It's like it's already going down like the middle.
Well, don't forget. I mean, this thing's going to burn. You can't stop that kind of burning. It's going to burn the whole building down.
I mean, it looks like it's the one way. One is 2/3 of the way up. The other's about halfway up.
Yeah.
God knows what it looks like inside. I mean,
110 stories.
Can you imagine being above or above that?
Oh God.
That's a nightmare.
Oh God.
You know what it's all. You know what happens? The worst thing that happens in these fires is the heat. No, it's the smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
It's the smoke inhalation. That's how you just choke to death, which is horrible.
How freaky will that be? That probably won't be part of the skyline of Manhattan anymore.
Oh, stop it.
What do you mean?
We must have that.
Well, you're not going to have it. It's gone.
But how freaky?
Put it back.
What's that stuff that's coming out of it?
Smoke. Black smoke.
Not smoke.
It's called smoke.
The white thing coming all the way down. Is that like a ladder?
More country. We do.
Did you see that the subways are shut down? It just said.
I'm telling you, you won't be able to get home.
This is crazy.
All right, we got to take a break.
Right here.
We're going to take a break, and I think we should just come back. We'll wrap it up. I don't know.
I don't know how to wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up. You don't have to wrap it up.
It's just there's no wrap.
I'll find a way to wrap.
I'm going to call my kids. Goodbye.
Whoa. What do you mean you're calling your kids? How dare you?
Kids. Who's more important than us?
You're going to call your kids?
I want to make sure they're all right.
Wait. Whoa. Your
are
kids
they at the...
Are your kids something to do with the World Trade Center?
No, but just at a moment like this, you want to just worry about it. I feel really bad about like all of you.
I think the terrorists are going to avoid Garden City, Dominic.
Yeah, I think imagine they're going after Dominic's law offices.
I just have to tell you, I do eat more in moments of fear.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're going to balloon up.
Yeah, I think he's really going to get something to eat.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you have to go eat. Go ahead.
So there was one Danish left.
All right, I have to take a break, and when we come back, I guess we'll close up the show.
Yeah.
Okay, right after these words. The Pentagon, what?
Howard Stern Show.
You'll have more of the Howard Stern Show
in a moment. On WBCN.
I've killed our commercial break because of what's going on now in our country, that we're just going to come back and be with you. The Pentagon has just been attacked.
Hit by a plane.
Hit by a plane. The World Trade Center has been hit by 2 planes. This is what we know so far. And I got to tell you...
They evacuated the White House.
Let me put on the sound.
Of the screen, you can see the World Trade Center, which was hit by two planes. The first plane that hit the World Trade Center was a plane that was hijacked from Boston. As a result of that, we can also tell you that Logan Airport in Boston has also been closed.
Wow.
New York City airports are closed. Bridges and tunnels coming into Manhattan.
What's going to be next?
All been closed.
Anything could
that
happen
could be a further terrorist target is now being closed down as New York City and apparently the Capitol go into
the Pentagon. How do they get a plane through to the Pentagon? That's what I want to know. Isn't that what?
On the Washington Mall. So there's now 2.
How is the Pentagon?
It's 48 minutes since the first attack on the World Trade Center.
And they got through. And they got a plane through.
Question now whether this is terrorism?
Well, we know it's terrorism, and I'm telling you, a country has to be... You know, this reminds me of Japan attacked us in World War II, Pearl Harbor. They were the only country ever to attack the United States like this. And we took an A-bomb, and we blew the daylights out of them. Harry Truman knew. They were still screwing around at the end of the war.
It was 4 years later.
4 years later, they dropped an atomic bomb on their ass. And we got to drop atomic bombs.
There's got to be a war.
Yeah,
That's
like,
all there is to
but
it.
a devastating war where people die.
No stopping this.
Burn their eyes out with atomic bombs.
I don't want to hear about casual
and about how
civilians. Casualties. We got civilian casualties.
People work in the trade.
If this guy Bush doesn't go to war right now, I'm telling you that
you got to know where to go.
We know where to go.
Well, you know what?
Don't you know?
If they didn't do it, they better surrender right away.
Yeah, they should all surrender right now.
I'd rather Martin Sheen stepped up than Bush right now.
Vinny, be quiet.
Vinny, where did you come from?
Right?
That's Vinny Penn. Vinny Penn is still trying to be funny. He's like, hey, this was my day to be funny. This is my shot.
I got lots
of jokes. In all fairness, he hasn't been here in 3 months, and he may not be back for another 3. He's going to make the most of it.
All right, Vinny, you make all the jokes you want. We understand. Wait.
As you look live at New York City's
Pentagon
Center buildings on fire from
the Pentagon is on fire.
That's brazen. I mean, so the Pentagon. It's brazen. It's like we don't care.
That is the seat of our military.
Yeah. Had been hijacked. The second airplane we're trying to get.
That's like scoffing at us as a superpower.
Are we done? I mean, do you think there's something else coming?
Yes.
Absolutely. Look, who knew that this was going to happen?
The Pentagon. How are they getting all these planes?
That's why they're evacuating the White House. This is serious. Very serious.
Black smoke.
Our president can't go home tonight.
That aircraft was hit just a few moments ago, 9:40 this morning.
Should point out
he doesn't want to go home. He wants to be on that ranch anyway.
Washington Mall. No confirmation as to the cause of that. And the west wing of the White House and the Capitol buildings have been evacuated.
All these countries are jealous of us, our way of life.
They want us to be miserable like they are.
Right, and we are now miserable. And now is the time to not even ask questions. Just to be pissed off and drop a few atom bombs, do a couple of chemical warfare hits, let their people burn and suffer until they understand.
Empty our stores of everything, because we haven't been bothering anybody.
Right.
They started screaming about colonialism, we stopped.
John Slatter, I'm sorry.
You're right. Dominic, what is it? I don't know why I'm going to you, but...
California. Watch.
Yeah.
Something in the Midwest.
Or something in the West.
Chicago.
Something in L.A.
West. I mean, there's obvious targets, but I mean, Chicago, L.A.
Chicago or something in
Boy, they're going to the Pentagon.
They're doing it. They've shut down Wall Street.
Can you imagine they bombed, they actually crashed into the
Pentagon?
How do you get to do that? I thought that's like so, like that airspace is completely protected. And how are they not on alert?
Well, everybody's on alert now.
I mean, it's 48 minutes later. I mean,
so what? I mean, it's certainly enough time.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
You know, this is a huge country to try to protect, though.
I know. But the Pentagon is a target that is considered a highly desirable target.
But you know what? They probably are sitting there going, nobody would ever do this, just like they did during World War II.
After the White House, what's the next biggest target? It's got to be the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
What's bigger than that?
Pentagon is bigger than the White House. It's where we have our nuclear capability.
Now, where does all the cabinet and the president go when you evacuate them? Where do they go?
Bunkers. If they have to.
They have bunkers. What do you have, Bobby?
Yeah, well, we have the top. We can go to your apartment. We get a better view when the plane comes.
Yeah.
Hey, can you imagine if there was something in those planes that crashed? You know
there was something in there.
No, I'm saying
people.
Like a chemical or something like that.
They don't
that's
need
supposed
more
to spread.
than the fuel.
That's right. That's all they need.
No, he's got a point. What if there's some killer gas in there, some chemical? That's a good point.
I think everybody. We'd already be dead.
Oh, there's no air in this building. Not to make a joke.
We're the only ones left there.
I swear to you, I'm getting queasy.
Oh,
There's every reason to
I'm
be.
having trouble breathing.
There's every reason to be.
Who do I sue?
We are under attack like never before.
Howard will be the only casualty.
No, I'm telling you, I'm starting to get agitated.
Well, don't have a heart attack before you find out what's
I feel like
happening.
I'm very angry.
I
Lead
know.
into a paper bag.
I'm very angry. I feel that people need to suffer now.
Scary.
We have to protect our way of life.
That's exactly true, Howard. You'll get no argument there.
Well, you'll see. They'll do nothing.
No.
I think you're wrong.
Here at Bellevue Hospital, they're expecting
Listen up.
so far 2 have arrived here. It seemed that the injuries were minor.
I feel like I'm watching a movie. That this can't be real.
Time ago, and alarms were going off. Right now, they're on external disaster, a very high alert at this hospital. Everybody gearing up for this disaster. And here on the FDR, continuously, there are sirens just whizzing by, police cars, fire.
Can I say something? I'm trying to think who is it that could talk to us right now to try to calm us down. The only person I can think of is on the phone. Cabby. Crazy Cabby. Yes, Cabby.
You can make sense of all this?
Yes. Cabby.
Howard,
Yeah.
I live in Brooklyn, and I'm standing on the roof of my building, and it's disgustingly sick what is going on. Who did this, first of all? And second of all, it's time to stop toying and letting these people come into our country and blow things up and do it all over the world. You know, we keep guys like Osama bin Laden around because we need enemies. We need a reason to build bombs. And I swear to God, if this isn't a reason to wipe out every freaking terrorist on the planet Earth, today we have the technology. We know where they are.
We can do it.
It's just do it.
We're afraid of the world reaction. Now, don't be afraid.
Screw them. That's what I say. Screw the rest of the world.
I mean, you talk about attacking us at our heart. We're on the building with binoculars, and somebody said they think they saw somebody jump out of the building because the building's on fire.
Oh, my God. This is just
I can't. I'm in shock.
I'm in shock, too. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm getting increasingly woozy from this.
And they're closing down all of Manhattan. We will not be let off this island.
Look at it. Look at that thing.
Look at the burning Pentagon. The Pentagon you can't even see.
Right, it's engulfed in
They hit the Pentagon, too?
Oh, yeah.
You better go back inside.
They just blew up the Pentagon.
Oh, my God.
A plane hit the Pentagon.
Pentagon has been hit by an airplane 48 minutes after the World Trade Center was hit by 2 planes.
They are evacuating the West Wing of the White House.
It's time to stop screwing around with these people, and I'm talking all the way down to Saddam
they're begging
Hussein.
for it.
Yeah.
Countries like Yemen and the United Arab Emirates who house these people and let these people do this.
All of them. Blow them all to sky high.
They're begging us for
Atom bombs.
major attention.
Atom bombs.
Nuclear strikes all over the world.
Nuclear war. Just do it so that they're flattened out and it turns into a paved road, and we'll take the oil for ourselves.
Parks over there.
And we'll take the oil for ourselves, by the way. This is a good excuse.
How could a plane hit the Pentagon?
Well, that's a wonderful
right.
question, Dominic.
How could a plane hit a Pentagon 48 minutes after the World Trade Center's been attacked?
No,
because it's probably a commercial airline that was hijacked. Think of all the people on these planes.
They just said a plane was hijacked from Boston, one of these planes.
767 is, I called my wife, and she said the report she heard was that it was a 767 out of Boston, and that is probably
the first one.
I think that's the second one.
Oh, really?
Cabby, thanks for the call.
Howard, this is
I know.
one of the biggest travesties to ever hit the world.
It is it's certainly the biggest travesty in our lifetime.
I cannot believe it. I'm disgusted by humans, and we better take care of business, or we're all lost.
Yeah, our way of life will be destroyed.
Absolutely.
We are now we have to sit in fear.
Exactly.
Now it's time to get busy.
On the planet,
if we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed.
Right. Don't sit and listen to these other countries like France, you fakes.
Wait and see.
Yeah, how many times have we bailed their ass out, and they house terrorists, too?
Oh, absolutely.
Get rid of them, too.
Well, you know what? Just blow them all up.
There's debris falling onto the street from the World Trade Center, flames and smoke from both towers.
I can see it from I'm standing on the roof of my building.
All right.
It makes me cry. It's sad.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
And evacuation has been ordered at the United Nations. Now they're getting everybody out of every tall building.
Right.
Hey, Howard, CNN just also reported that they closed every airport in the country.
Good.
Absolutely.
Let's get busy.
No time to be flying around. See anything up there, shoot it down.
Yeah, Dominic. What's next? Right, what's next?
What is next?
I never thought the Pentagon.
See, you can't get, there's no getting off Manhattan now. Everything's closed.
If they plan 3, they can do 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They could be all day long with this.
This will be going on every day now unless we act swiftly. And no investigation. You know what countries hate us.
You see what I say? See, I'm always, considered an extremist. But I say you declare war on everybody, and then whoever surrenders doesn't get killed.
Right.
But how do you kill every son and child?
I would.
I would.
They grow up to be terrorists.
You know which countries have to be flattened out.
They're in collusion. If Bin Laden is behind this, boy, did he show us something.
They raised them to be terrorists.
It's not only Bin Laden. It's all those guys over there. They're wise
there's somebody listening to him. He doesn't do this on his own.
No.
He doesn't go out and bomb anything.
Right, he's alive. He's got people killing himself.
Exactly.
Do you realize how many TV stations are actually knocked out?
No, I don't.
How many?
4, 5, 7.
Oh, they're knocked out?
Out.
Channel 7's not on the air?
Out.
Oh, my God.
No. What's on the air? 2?
How is CBS on?
Channel 2's the only one on.
2, and I believe...
They're on the Empire State Building.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
9 is out.
Look at that.
11 is out.
That is amazing.
Wow. Channel 2 is the only one broadcasting here in New York.
5 is out. 4 is out.
Hold on. Let me bring up some sound. What is it?
Hey, really important. Robin's driver is leaving, and he doesn't care how she gets home.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's going
Well, why don't you go?
Oh, that's
Robin,
hysterical.
He's leaving right now.
I'll be fine.
But, Robin, you can't get home.
I know. Everything's closed.
Robin, you can stay at my apartment.
No, that's all right.
You hear such conflicting stuff, Howard. Scott said that he heard somewhere, that Scott the engineer, that everything's open going outbound, that they want everyone out of the city. But
well, I just saw that they closed the battery tunnel.
That can't be true.
If anybody needs to leave, go ahead. I'll,
where can we go?
I'll hold down the fort.
I went upstairs and told everybody that as well, and it's everybody saying, where am I going to go?
No.
That could create pandemonium if everyone started trying to get out.
Right, it'll be like a Sylvester Stallone movie in the tunnels.
I mean, I'm trapped here with Tom.
See ya.
Now we better go to war.
Let's have lunch.
Right.
I know a really nice, quiet place for lunch.
Yeah, I bet prices are cheap today.
Here is that they were both suicide flights going in, and as I said before, there's unconfirmed word that even a third plane was on its way here. The disposition of that, we don't know.
Wow.
The studio, I can't hear you right now, but let me go back to you.
A third plane was on its way.
Maybe, and maybe they stopped it.
Lower Manhattan.
Giving us our first account of things from ground level. Let's go back to the newsroom now. Marcia,
we're sitting ducks.
Following the developments
from that
vantage point. Marcia?
Well, we're now getting some picture of the breadth of this national catastrophe.
Oh.
First of all, the White House was evacuated, the entire White House, after the Secret Service received a credible threat, I repeat, a credible threat of a terrorist act against the presidential mansion and residence. But that's not the only building that's been evacuated. We now can report that the State Department, the Capitol, and the Treasury buildings are also being evacuated, and believe it or not, in Los Angeles they are on a tactical alert, and they are starting to evacuate key buildings
everywhere.
All bridges and tunnels closed.
We're sitting ducks.
No. It says into. It says
into Manhattan.
Yeah, into.
It's out too. Why would
it's gonna.
How are you gonna get out?
Yeah, Eric, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, Dominic is wrong. Channel 7 is on the air. Channel 9 is off the air. Channel 9, you'll see what happens.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Zolar, you're on the air.
Oh, thank God you took my call, Howard. Now I'm looking at 7, I'm looking at 5, I'm looking at 2, I'm looking at 4. Let me tell you something, Howard. One word on the news about...
Oh, no.
Wait a second. What happened? Tom, what happened?
Oh, my God.
What just happened?
Oh, my God.
What just happened? Look at that.
Oh, the whole World Trade Center just collapsed.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Channel 7.
Oh, my God. The whole thing just completely dropped.
Goodness.
It actually collapsed.
That's it.
Oh, my God.
Anybody who had a chance of getting out of there.
It collapsed.
Doesn't
It's
have
gone.
a chance now.
Are you watching the footage?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrific.
The whole thing just collapsed.
Everything around there's in danger.
Let me put up the sound for a second so we can hear what's going on.
On microphone from Chopper 2 as he takes these pictures. Jim?
Yes, I am here, Michael.
Jim, tell us what's happening out there.
We just witnessed some kind of secondary follow-up explosion on the World Trade Center #2, the one
secondary
on the south that it's difficult to make out through the debris and smoke, but it does appear that the top portion of the building has collapsed down to the streets below.
Oh, my gosh.
Unbelievable what we have seen here. The debris and smoke just covering the entire portion of lower Manhattan.
Oh, my gosh.
Jim, we know this is terribly difficult for everybody. We're asking that you please stay with us. Hold your shot. Stay with us on audio. We should tell people our crews have been running from that scene, as have everybody, and the entire area has been under an evacuation for some time. And just moments ago, you saw it here live from Chopper 2, a horrific scene as one of the towers there appears to have collapsed. From what had happened earlier, a quick chronology as you continue to look live. Just before 9 o'clock this morning, word of a plane crash into Tower 1 that had been confirmed. A 757 hijacked out of Boston was the first impact. 18 minutes later, a second plane impacted Tower 2. Not long after that.
Videotape of that second crash.
Not long after this second impact that you will see here on tape, happening 18 minutes after the first impact, and then was the fire at the Pentagon.
Right, about 9:30 this morning.
Also confirmed,
at least from the Associated Press. This is the collapse, ladies and gentlemen, on videotape.
The whole middle of the building
came out. Unbelievable.
It's like an implosion, right?
Let's go to Marcia Kramer now in the newsroom as she watches what you're seeing at home right now. Marcia?
Well, the real concern right now for New York City Emergency Rescue Squads is to get people on the ground away from that scene as soon as possible. If you live in the area, if you live in Battery Park City or any of the other housing developments in that area, you should leave the area. You should evacuate the area and get away from the scene. Right now, police have to determine...
Oh, my God. The whole World Trade Center just imploded and went down. The whole building's gone.
It's just gone.
It's gone, and people are in there.
Oh, yeah.
Not anymore.
Hopefully they were out.
Nah, no way. No way they got out.
That entire building with fire going
on. No way.
They had an hour.
No way. I'm sorry, what is it, Dominic?
Look at that picture on 2. Did you ever think you'd see that in the life?
No. It's really war.
It's like a nuclear bomb hit the city.
Yeah, it really is.
It's so beyond Pearl Harbor. It's just so beyond.
It is beyond Pearl Harbor.
The entire city is covered with...
At least Pearl Harbor was...
And the Pentagon's on fire.
Installation.
What went on at the Pentagon? The plane crashed into the Pentagon?
Yes.
Oh.
And now they're saying there's one other plane on the radio they think is still up there.
Oh,
I don't
no.
think it's down yet. There must have been a third target in New York.
Zolar, go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, oh my God,
There's
I'm
no thought.
devastated, Howard, and I'll tell you what, first second I hear on the news that it has anything to do with a towel head or a dot head bastard, I'm going to go out there and start going to those Arab stores and I'm going to start kicking.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Don't say that, Zolar.
So, I implore all Americans to get your arms together, baby. Get out there on the streets and go to your local freaking deli with them.
I got it. He's just upset.
I understand, but he's an idiot.
No.
It's like we keep looking at this and we think to ourselves, how much worse can it get? And every 10 minutes it gets worse.
It's getting bad. Cabby.
Howard, we were standing here and we were just discussing the things that were going on, and the second building just crumbled right in front of us.
It did. I know.
And how many people on the ground or other buildings were affected by that?
Yeah, the whole area.
It's a 110-story building.
There's another plane behind it. I don't know if you just saw it in the air.
Yeah, what is that?
I just saw a plane fly by.
That's got to be one of our planes, right?
Well, it's a no-fly zone.
That was chopper. I noticed that about 10 or 15
No,
minutes
not
ago.
a chopper.
No.
There was a chopper originally, and then they cleared the whole area. The World Trade Center is not standing.
Downtown is completely covered by a cloud of smoke.
Here's Ed Moyer.
He's coming to get home.
This is our world. That siren is our world.
This is a disgusting display that is humanity right here.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to say here? There's nothing to be said. I don't know what we're good do. What good it is to have us on the air right now. I don't know.
They're not letting anybody into the city, are they?
No.
Tom, I don't think it does any good to have us on the air now, does it?
The only thing I'd say about having you on the air, it's some place for people to come.
Right.
Especially people in other cities.
It becomes a big encounter session, and if you want to continue that.
All right, I'll stay on the air for a while. I don't know. I'm sure everyone's...
If you want, as long as they're not going to be...
Abandon us for a news station?
Did you see that picture, Howard?
That footage.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Kebby.
I can't even believe this.
Kebby, where are you right now?
I live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, right next to the Williamsburg Bridge. So my view of downtown, I have a complete view of everything that's going on right now. I'm on my roof. And all the traffic has been obviously stopped going into the city, and everybody seems to be making a quick exodus out of the city. And right now, you can't even see downtown. It's completely covered with smoke from the collapse of one of the greatest buildings ever built because of the ignorance of humanity.
If any of Mike's staff has to leave, because they're still letting people out of the city, you should go.
Well, I already lost my driver.
Boy.
He always says, Robin, I'll take a bullet for you. See ya!
Yeah, bye.
Not a bomb.
I mean, do you think
I'm scared to get on the subway.
See ya, Robin.
Do you think it's worth making an attempt to go home?
Yeah, you should go do it. Go do it.
I would say go be with your family, absolutely.
I would go do it and...
Subways are closed.
Where's Casey going? He has no family to go.
Casey, you have no family. Get over here.
Get back here, you.
He runs out with Gary.
And Howard, obviously, if you want to go, we'll fill.
I got nowhere to go.
Casey's going to OTB.
What about guys in a situation like me?
The horses aren't running.
Cab it out and take a train and...
Well, good luck.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't think Vinny, I think you're here for
We better get a hotel room together.
That means I can do the show again tomorrow, Howard.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
He's available.
I don't even know what it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
it may
seriously.
not be tomorrow with this going on.
We might have a state of martial law by tomorrow.
That's right.
And we probably should.
You know, I want to hear from our president again.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is it? Oh, never mind. I won't call him names.
We know where he is. Yeah, you got to get behind the president now. Doug, what's your story?
Oh my God, dude! I just can't even talk. I was just on my roof of my building, and we actually saw the building buckle a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we came down and we went on, the freaking building collapsed. But I mean, just think of all the countless amount of people on the ground within 25 blocks, and all the emergency workers, the police, the firemen, they're probably gone.
Overwhelmed at this point.
They're gone.
Said
and you know what pisses me off the most is our freaking president. What the heck? What a softie.
Oh,
well, let's not even get to that yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does.
I guarantee you,
Let me just say,
our president.
There was word, this is completely unconfirmed, but Governor Pataki has an office in
the World Trade
Center. It's not known. I don't know.
No, the president said he had talked to the governor of New York.
Okay.
Yeah, they spoke.
And it is the most eerie thing. You look up on my rooftop, which overlooks the whole city, and I mean, the streets are just empty. It's just a parade of
the
ambulances
devastation
and police cars and fire trucks. It's
the building collapsing.
I mean, it's hard to even speak.
Yeah.
Hit other buildings in the area.
I'm having difficulty
think, like
having anything to say.
The countless amount of people in that zone where the building collapses, they're all deprived of air. There's no air going in there.
Right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Howard?
Yeah.
I hear they closed all bridges and tunnels either way.
Oh, they did?
You're not going to be able to get
Tell
in.
Gary to abandon that.
I just pulled them back from coming.
If anyone needs somewhere to come, they can come up to my building if they're stuck.
Well, yeah.
And
I'll have everyone but Benji.
And I suggest people
really sad. I just feel like crying, Howard. I mean,
of course you do. This is unreal.
Sad. I mean,
of course you feel like crying. This is absurd.
This is our country.
You knew this was coming.
What did we do that was so wrong?
We were
did
having
nothing.
a good time.
We did nothing wrong.
And you know when they did it, Howard?
These are people who live in
what,
countries
Howard,
where they're enslaved.
They're going to say that we've participated in terrorist acts as well.
You know what? Now's the time to stop their rhetoric.
That's their religion. This is our religion.
Now for the first time, you got the excuse to really wipe out these animals.
Absolutely.
Animal countries. Don't target Osama bin Laden.
Look for people.
Howard, do you realize how many people are probably, dead or injured from
thousands.
this?
Oh,
but
thousands.
You know what?
Look at the collapse of this.
The thing you ought to think about is the people who are cheering that this happened
all around the world.
Anybody who's cheering.
And they should be gotten right now.
Howard,
it's
at the point now where
F-16 flying overhead now.
Hold it a second.
Military jets in the air.
There are military jets in the air?
Military jets in the air. Let me see. I'm sorry. It's an F-15, which is an interceptor jet, which is meant to take out other aircraft.
Right.
I'm telling you, there's still one plane somewhere.
Yeah, they said that there was a third plane
that they thought was headed
here. Well, they're obviously flying, and they're going to take it down.
Yeah, well, they got to, and how are they going to take it down? They're going to have to take it out down over Manhattan.
Which means there's probably people on the plane.
That's the problem.
They will take out those people on the plane,
At this point, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. It's called collateral damage, and they're going to have to do it.
This is devastating. If there is a third plane still in the air, it's probably a hijacked plane with people on it. The military's going to have to shoot it down.
They won't even get close to Manhattan now because there's Air Force up in the air.
Right. Yeah, but what
you
is
know
it?
what? That's what they intended to do. They intended to take probably people with planes with people on them as
insurance
to keep themselves from being shot down before they
so they could hit a target.
And you know what? So if they get over the tip of Manhattan somewhere else and we have to shoot them down and a bunch of people die there, they've still done their job.
Let me recap. Planes have crashed into the World Trade Center. 2 of them. One at 9 o'clock, roughly a little before 9 o'clock. Then a second plane went into the building.
About 18 minutes later.
48 minutes later, the Pentagon was attacked.
And one of the World Trade Centers now is non-existent.
It's collapsed. Yeah.
And the other one is basically gone.
Doesn't have a chance.
They say even a third plane could be up in the air. All airports have been closed. Everything in and out of Manhattan is closed down. We're here in Manhattan broadcasting, obviously.
They say 3 planes, but 3 planes already crashed. Already. I think maybe that's the only 3.
Would you ever predict the Pentagon?
Never.
No, I mean,
they
who knows?
thought there was a third one here.
What's that noise?
That's one of the military jets that's circling over the tip of Manhattan and the tip of Brooklyn.
Howard, this
visibility's got to be shot.
This has become one of those movies.
Yeah.
I mean, the planes are flying over our homes.
Yeah.
That is a warplane.
It's a warplane.
We're at war. We just don't know with who.
You know what's terrifying is that it's just a matter of seconds. We're watching the other tower burn. It's coming down within minutes. You know that.
There's going to be another collapse. I hope to hell people are just getting out of that area.
Howard, now
I don't know
there's
if they
debris
can.
all over the ground, and other buildings in that area are affected.
It's complete devastation.
They must be trying to find that other plane if they're circling like that.
How many people do you think were in that World Trade Center at the time of this attack?
The 2 World Trade Centers together got to be over 75 or 100,000 people. I mean, it's a lot of people.
They said 50,000 people working in the 2 buildings.
Between 50 and 70,000 work in the 2 World Trades.
Right. And the only thing we can hope is that well, wait a second. There's another report coming in. Let me see.
Speculation obviously going on. It has the markings of a Middle East act of terrorism.
Why do you say that?
Well, often in the Middle East, when there's a bombing, a suicide bombing or a car bombing, you'll find a second bomb going off when the emergency response crews respond.
Right. Which just happened.
They're so sweet, those people.
This is our worst-case scenario. This is something...
A 4th plane has just crashed into...
In the security industry,
I'm not sure where.
This is something
the 4th plane is...
and someone's on... Let me see. Someone's on the phone saying that... Palestine and that Ben Osama bin Laden guy is claiming responsibility, whatever his name is.
Oh, the second plane was in Jersey, Howard.
Both from an investigative
Hold on, I'll get to that guy.
Response standpoint is going to
another
be
explosion hits lower Manhattan. Oh my God!
Impossible.
Clearly, you can only do so much.
Hold on, let me see what this guy's saying. Yeah, Bob, you there? Bob? Okay, hold it a second. Wait, Bob?
Hello?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, Howard, I'm here.
All right, what's this 4th plane?
Well, it's just being broadcast now, Howard. The 2 that hit the World Trade Center, then there was 1 at the Pentagon, and now a 4th plane has crashed into the South Tower and actually made the tower fall.
Is that right?
Oh, that was a...
And they're also saying that the Palestinians and Osama bin Laden are claiming responsibility for this. They've come out and said that they are the ones doing this.
Well,
They're not done yet.
Then let Israel loose. They're not done yet. Let Israel loose.
Let Israel loose. We have to do this.
Israel. Let the U.S. loose.
Let me tell you something.
We have to go to war
It can be
with
taken.
countries where
It can be taken care of in an hour. We can wipe them off the face of the earth.
You don't want governments who would allow this to happen again to stand.
An hour's too long, Howard. In an hour from now, they could have 6 more planes crash into the city.
Where is the 4th plane hit, Howard?
The 4th plane crashed where?
Into the World Trade Center.
Tower.
Into the South Tower.
The one that collapsed.
The one that just collapsed. The reason for that devastating collapse was not an implosion. He's saying it was a 4th plane.
That's what's on the news.
How could a 4th plane possibly get through?
I'll tell you how, because they have hostages on there. Whatever the confusion is in this moment, we are not prepared for this kind of devastating attack.
Because
the Air Force was not in place.
I have questions, though. Why are these huge planes flying out of airports, hijacked, and nobody knows anything?
FBI knew about one of them.
No, but there's control towers that these planes are leaving their flight
here it
plans.
is.
Third blast brought down tower.
Third blast.
Oh.
No, maybe not from a plane.
Because the building could have blown up just because of the fire alone.
Well, they should have had a bomb on the plane.
Yeah, because that looked like a bomb.
I think what you're hearing in our background is Cabby is out in Brooklyn, and you can hear the you can hear military planes going over. You can hear emergency crews.
Howard, I just have a quick question. Do you think that these pilots, I mean, do you think the pilots might have been, killed and taken? I don't see any,
Yeah, an American would not fly into a building.
Probably killed the pilot and just
yeah.
steered it.
Yeah, I would not see any pilot actually saying, okay, I'd rather, crash into a building than just die.
Yeah, how do you hijack planes that quickly?
I got to tell you, a lot of pilots aren't American.
Well, that's true. Well, Gary, you're absolutely right.
We got guys living in this country who are terrorists, and we let them in every day, and it's just...
New York City's filled with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, remember that Egyptian air crash where the guy, the co-pilot, took over?
Yeah, but you'd think...
You know what?
I mean? You wouldn't think that... You think that they know these people. The CIA knows how many times someone takes a dump.
All right.
You don't know if a guy is
But it's odd that planes can leave their flight path, take off unauthorized, or do any of the stuff they'd need to do, and nobody knew.
Let me get organized here for a second. Let me get organized for a second. Bob, I'm going to say goodbye to you, okay?
Got it, Howard.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Doug.
Yeah.
I'm saying goodbye to you.
Okay.
All right.
Don't you think that...
Gabby, stay on.
I know that it's bedlam. I know that it's going crazy. But don't you think, as busy as he is, the president needs to be telling us something? Don't you think we need to see him to know? I mean,
I don't think the president needs to be out right now.
Yeah,
I think the president needs to be in a war room planning his attack.
Yeah, that's exactly
We
right.
don't need to know.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm assuming he's not on his ranch right now.
I feel like I need to hear from somebody from the government that tells me they have some clue what's
Gary,
going on.
There's no clue. Who knows?
But you don't want to telegraph either.
That's right. You can't get on and announce what you're going to do.
You know what you don't realize, Howard?
We're aware of what's going on. We don't think there's any more planes. I mean, I don't know this building to blow up in a second.
That building went down, and now picture all the fires that are now surrounded the Twin Towers. All those other buildings are probably...
Let me go back to CBS News and see what we can learn.
Believe it or not, reporting an explosion on Capitol Hill. Fortunately, the explosion happened after Capitol Police had started to evacuate the Capitol. We don't know if any of the senators or representatives were...
Is this a new explosion?
An explosion on Capitol Hill.
There is another explosion. That makes 2 explosions and a fire in Washington. An explosion at the Pentagon that we've confirmed was caused by a plane. An explosion at the Capitol, we don't know what caused it. And a fire on the Washington Mall, we don't know what caused that. But the fact that there have been so many attacks would seem to indicate that there are people on the ground as well as in the air that are helping to set off and to participate.
This is an organized...
Somebody is at war with us.
This is an organized effort.
If you could you please reiterate the information you had regarding
all right, listen again.
Schools in the lower Manhattan area?
Well, what we're told is that there are 3 schools in the lower Manhattan area. There is Stuyvesant High School, which is a high school for gifted students, and there are 2 elementary schools that are also in that area. They're in the Batteries Park City complex. What we're told right now is that the kids are safe. The kids are in the classrooms, but parents who want to go and take their kids home are going to be permitted to do so.
Damn right.
As of right now, I don't know what they're going to find when they get to the school.
In Washington?
What? Yeah, one more. The Capitol. Capitol's been bombed.
I also said Washington Mall is on fire. Now,
Wipe
what
them
was that
all
from?
out, man.
What?
Wipe them out.
Right.
Every one of them. Tactical nukes.
Thanks, Cabby.
Howard?
Yeah.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I want to hurt somebody right now.
All right. Well, listen, we're all feeling the same way. Let's see what happens.
You know, when I hear my dad...
Cabby, call me back if anything else. All the phone lines are almost all down.
Don't forget to listen to Kane's show for free.
Wait a second, Cabby, you might as well stay on because I'm learning now that all the phone lines are almost all down.
Yeah, they are. Well, I couldn't get through on my cell phone at all. Nobody up here has any phone.
Yeah.
I'm on mine. And
you and Dominic, I see... Let me see if there's anybody else able to even get through.
Look at that picture there. The face
Give me a
of New
second
York
here.
is completely changed.
Yeah, let me see what's going on here. Hi. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
What's going on?
What's going on? You guys keeping in touch with the news?
Yeah, we're on touch.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. I don't know what this guy's trying to say.
He sounds like a...
Hi.
He's underground.
Hello?
Hello, can I talk to Cabby?
Yeah. Go ahead, he's on.
Yeah, what's up?
Cabby, what does Brooklyn look like? My girlfriend's someplace in there. Is that okay out there?
Yeah, Brooklyn's fine. It's they're not. It appears they're not letting anybody into the city. All the bridges out are filled with cars. People are trying to walk across the there's a walkway going into the city. It looks like they're being turned back until they cannot go into the city.
Cabby, are people just, like, out on the street?
Yeah, there's people everywhere. I mean, I'll walk over to the edge of the building here, and there's cars stopped, and there's people standing on the street. People are talking and looking up. I mean, that's all you can do right now is look up at the devastation that has been caused.
By the way, on my TV set now, I'm still watching the World Trade Center burn. It's basically gone. It's completely eliminated.
The South Tower is completely gone from the skyline. There is nothing there.
And there's about, I'd say, a third of
the whole top of the building.
The whole top of the building's on fire on the other one.
Yeah, I'd say there's a third of it left.
It started sort of in the middle of the building. Now the top of it is completely in flames.
Right.
Now, did you get the report that somebody said the last plane crashed at the base of the building?
There was a third plane that actually set off that second explosion that caused what we thought was an implosion at first.
It was another plane hit the building and it collapsed.
Yeah, hold on. Who just left? I think I lost somebody. Hold on.
I think it's because that first plane hit the center of it.
It's okay, I got you.
All right. Yeah, it's. I mean, I come up here every night and I look at these at the skyline of Manhattan because it's so beautiful. And to see this morning, I mean, I woke up and I'm.
Cabby.
I can't even believe it. I mean,
I'm going to.
What the hell is wrong with people? How?
I know. I'm going back to the feed.
Second crash, 18 minutes later, what we have heard from the Associated Press was a plane out of Newark. Then a third crash at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and a fire at the Washington Mall, and now a fifth word that there was an explosion at Capitol Hill, which had since been evacuated, and now the sixth incident right now. The State Department apparently had been evacuated as all this was going on, only to find out that there's been a possible explosion there as well.
And, Michael, I've been told by our guest here, Michael Hirschman, who's the president of an international security and counterterrorism firm, that there's an unidentified aircraft approaching an airport in northern Virginia, possibly Dulles or Washington National Airport. Authorities there are scrambling to find out about that aircraft. An unidentified aircraft circling, approaching an airport in northern Virginia. We're not sure which airport that is. You have Dulles there, you have Reagan International and George. Actually, those are the two airports there, scrambling to find out the nature of that aircraft. Can you tell us any more, Mr. Hirschman?
Only that's an unidentified.
Well, they taught us a good lesson. I hope. I hope we've learned something. That's Cabby's feed right now you're listening to. You can hear the emergency vehicles going off. It's complete bedlam.
They're trying to get closer, I believe, by going to the Brooklyn and the Manhattan bridges to get closer into downtown, because I'm sure the devastation from the collapse of the building has wiped out. It had to wipe out 20 square blocks around there.
Tom, what are you hearing out there?
My question is, was the first building the one that's still up? The second one was where the big plane went into the
That's right.
collapse, right?
Yep. And they're saying a possible third plane.
Is that? I don't think.
No, that wasn't a third plane.
It looked like the World Trade Center was almost tipping at one point.
It did.
I think the World Trade Center just doesn't exist anymore.
No, I think the one that's still up looks like it's almost buckling.
I think that's the one that got hit originally.
The U.S. State Department has been evacuated. The Pentagon has been hit by a plane. Let me see.
Doctors, nurses, and that they are getting people from everywhere into that hospital. It's now called the
That's the bottom line. We don't even know how many people have been killed.
That's all we have here.
Tens of thousands.
Yep.
Those lines, Cindy, every firefighter is...
White House, Capitol, Treasury has been evacuated. FBI security has been tightened across the country. They don't know where the next attack will come from, or if there will be one.
All the airports are closed in the entire country.
Yep.
And you realize that this building collapsing, it probably collapsed right in on the financial district, which is the financial hub of the world, Wall Street.
Well, that's what they were doing. First, they knocked out the financial district, and then they went after the government.
They were in the middle of actually evacuating the financial district, and I don't even know how many people got out of there before that building collapsed.
I mean, you're talking a 110-story building falling in on itself.
Yep. It was huge.
Yeah, children, if you're able to get there. Obviously, the area is still very dangerous, so we caution you against taking...
They just put up a graphic. Crashes...
These people wanted to throw us into chaos.
Yeah, they have. Crashes occurred 18 minutes apart. What?
This is not tape at all. This is the only remaining World Trade Center tower. The other collapsing not too long ago. Both victims of plane crashes. The second, the tower rather, that has collapsed, though we are told, collapsed because of a third.
This is chaos.
Source of that, though,
and
at this point, we don't know.
It shouldn't be put as a crash anymore. It was an attack.
Right.
Yeah. Buildings were attacked. This country has been attacked.
Somebody
the Pentagon,
is
a
at war
fire
with
at
us.
the Washington Mall, and an explosion at Capitol Hill, as well as one at the State Department. And we just received late word of a suspicious plane.
Exactly. A suspicious plane approaching an airport in Northern Virginia, trying to determine whether that's Dulles or Reagan Washington Airport.
Yeah, why can't you get in touch
Authorities,
with this
of course,
plane?
are scrambling to
What do you think's going on? You think there are more attacks coming?
Sure.
Sure, why not wipe out an airport while you're at it?
You look live at Chopper 2. You talked about the issue of going down and trying to get...
How many people are involved in this? How'd they keep it quiet?
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how you... They say now that they got word that there was going to be an attack at the White House. They didn't alert anybody else?
But they probably figured the White House they can take care of.
Is anybody out there screening my phones? I do see some people are able to get through, not many.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if someone can stay on that.
You know, Howard, they got into all the places that are supposed to be the highest level of security. They got into the Capitol.
Yeah, this is no amateur hour.
I don't know the Capitol's confirmed.
Capitol was bombed. Explosion. Yeah, it's been confirmed. It wasn't a crash. It was an explosion. They have people.
There's probably on the ground people as well as in the air people.
A car bomb at the State Department. How do you know?
Possible car bomb at the State Department.
I mean, they
now being reported.
Our highest levels of security. They got into all of them.
That's the thing about terrorism.
But wait a second. How did the hell they keep this quiet?
Right. There's a lot of
many people involved.
There's going to be hundreds of people involved in this.
And this has to be people who were here for some time.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't just hijack an airplane. It's not the easiest thing to do.
I mean, and to do it simultaneously?
Right. 3 or 4 airplanes, and you're not...
Look at how long Japan planned to do Pearl Harbor. They did as much. They did as much work as that.
Now, this is a huge undertaking. This is a war.
The problem is we've been talking about Osama bin Laden planning some new major attack on the United States for about a year.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this.
You know, we'll never know till this whole thing is over, but for all we know, their plans failed miserably, and this is a third of what they were planning.
Yeah,
good point.
The world thought they were going to do on New Year's Eve in 1999.
Right, yep.
And they were smart and they waited.
They waited till a random day in the middle of the week in the middle of September.
By the way, well, let's see. There's not many calls coming through because a lot of phone lines are dead, but Barry's on the phone. He's a paramedic on the way to the World Trade Center. Barry, what do you know?
I don't know too much. I know what you know. I watched the collapse on TV. I'm a paramedic in New Jersey, but we're going, soon we're going over there.
How are you going to get in?
I don't know. I guess we're going to use the tunnels. I'm on my way to where we get our units in Jersey City.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. John wants to say something.
I think they just bombed the building in Jersey. That's what I just heard from, you know.
Let me go back to the feed and see what's going on.
Explosion on Capitol Hill. You know, this is so preliminary. We get so much information that it's going to change throughout the day. And at this point, they're saying no explosion on Capitol Hill.
No explosion.
Also, as you mentioned, the international flights are now being diverted to Canada, and air traffic is being stopped everywhere else. That's really all we have right now from the newsroom. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cindy. We'll check.
What did you hear about Jersey?
A friend of mine just called and said that they just bombed the building in Jersey.
I'm not hearing that here. Wait.
Subways have been closed. We're trying to get an update, especially going into Lower Manhattan. Those have been closed, obviously.
The hell is...
You know how our intern who was answering the phones got so freaked out, she had to leave the phones. She was flipping out about all this.
Oh, could someone who's not flipping out?
Yeah, I'm going to go back. I just want to tell you about the Jersey.
Bombings and the...
Second plane was from Newark.
That was the second plane that hit the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Was open, going out, trying to get everybody to go out. One of the concerns, of course, was that the Emergency Command Center was at 7 World Trade Center, which is across the street from Tower 1 and what was Tower 2, unfortunately, and that the Port Authority was based at the World Trade Center.
Tower 2.
President Bush did comment earlier. He called it an apparent terrorist attack, but then updated that to call it...
seemingly at this point quite certain. He pledges the government's full support, as would be obvious, for the victims and their families, as well as a full-scale investigation to hunt down those responsible. Let's go back to Cindy Hsu in the newsroom.
Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
That's the other tower is gone.
Hold it a second. Let's hear this.
World Trade Tower Center, no more buildings have collapsed.
If Jim Smith is with us still in Chopper 2, Jimmy, you there?
What?
Michael, we just saw that as well. The second tower, the only one that was standing, tower number 1, we saw some kind of explosion, a lot of smoke come out at the top of the tower, and then it collapsed down onto the streets below, much like we saw the first tower just about a half hour ago.
Gosh, this is an unbelievable, it's incredible, incredulous.
And truly, as you're looking at the... what there is of the Manhattan skyline at this point. The two most prominent landmarks, the World Trade Centers,
they're gone.
Reduced to a pile of rubble and ash.
They're gone.
Billowing above the city. Jim Smith, stay with us if you will.
It's like knocking
It's unfriggin' believable.
It changed the
like
face of New York.
I've seen the entire lower half of Manhattan just completely covered in smoke, debris, dust, everything well south of Canal Street is just completely and covered in this smoke and dust at this time. There is not anything recognizable of what were the two trade towers, nothing standing out from those clouds of dust.
They're gone now. Yeah, I mean, that's the end of the World Trade Center.
What have we done so bad to deserve this?
Well, nothing.
Now we're going to go to
the only thing we've done is...
Look at that. Look at how the debris has rained down on the street.
Isaac, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard. Listen, I was in Israel for a year. This stuff happens every single day.
I know. Well, now it's been brought home, and this is what the Israelis have been saying, and really the world has not allowed them to wipe out these terrorists. But
to be completely honest with you, it's like it's almost like to say that all Arabs are bad, that's wrong. But to say that we should stop ourselves from, retaliating against Hamas and the PLO and organizations like that's only purpose is to destroy. In other words, talk about human rights, fine. But this is not about human rights. This is about terrorism, and you have to fight an army with weapons. There's no way.
Yeah, no, you got to take out countries. Frank, you're on the air. Frank? No, Frank, he's gone. I don't know. So a lot of the phone lines are giving us trouble.
I can't make calls going out.
I've made a couple. If you keep doing it, it comes and it goes. But within the
This is unbelievable. Kathy, you're on the air.
Yeah, Howard, I'm calling from Phoenix. I just wanted to give you guys a kid's perspective. I got a 9-year-old sister that just called me and asked me, why do people hate the Americans?
Well, because we have everything, and we have a way of life that's organized and free, and they're jealous. I mean, it's an easy question to answer.
Yeah.
We have it all.
I said, honey, I'm sorry you have to witness stuff like this.
Because these other countries live in fear of their leaders.
It's unbelievable.
They're raised to hate, and we have to now recognize.
And they make us responsible for all of their misery.
It's no different than when you were a kid growing up and you were beaten. I mean, it's you either take out those that beat you or you accept it and the behavior continues.
Right. And to see a broadcast, live over TV while she's getting ready for school just... Yeah. It hit me hard.
As Robin pointed out, for a year now, they've all been saying, well, bin Laden's is preparing a big attack on the United States. I don't know if it's bin Laden on this particular thing, but once I hear he's preparing an attack, level the country he lives in. Yeah. They're protecting him.
Exactly.
Why?
I don't want them to do fact-checking. Please don't fact-check. There's 2 women. It's over for Vance.
Tim Walz and Ohio's Republican Senator J.D. Vance tonight meeting for the first time.
I'm Margaret Brennan. In order to have a thoughtful and civil debate, these are the rules that both campaigns have agreed to. Questions will be directed at one candidate, who will have 2 minutes to respond. The other candidate will be allowed 2 minutes for rebuttal. Then each candidate will get another minute to make further points, with an additional 1 minute each at the discretion of the moderator. The primary role of the moderators is to facilitate the debate between the candidates, enforce the rules, and provide the candidates with the opportunity to fact-check claims made by each other.
CBS News reserves the right to mute the candidates' microphones to maintain decorum. We have not shared the questions or topics with the campaigns. The stage is set. Governor, Senator, thank you for joining us. Let's get started.
All right, here we go.
The country is facing several unfolding crises. The Middle East is on the brink of war. Americans are suffering from the catastrophic impact of Hurricane Helene. And now a labor strike as 22,000 workers from Maine to Texas are picketing. We're going to begin tonight with the Middle East. Margaret.
Thank you, Nora. Earlier today, Iran launched its largest attack yet on Israel, but that attack failed, thanks to joint U.S. and Israeli defensive action. President Biden has deployed more than 40,000 U.S. military personnel and assets to that region over the past year to try to prevent a regional war. Iran is weakened, but the U.S. still considers it the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, and it has drastically reduced the time it would take to develop a nuclear weapon. It is down now to 1 or 2 weeks' time. Governor Walz
if you were the final voice in the Situation Room, would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran?
Damn.
You have 2 minutes.
Damn.
Well, thank you, and thank you for those joining at home tonight. Let's keep in mind where this started. October 7th, Hamas terrorists massacred over 1,400 Israelis and took prisoners.
That was bad.
Israel's ability to be able to defend itself is absolutely fundamental. Getting its hostages back, fundamental, and ending the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. But the expansion of Israel and its proxies is an absolute fundamental necessity for the United States to have the steady leadership there. You saw it experienced today, where along with our Israeli partners and our coalition, able to stop the incoming attack. But what's fundamental here is that steady leadership is going to matter. It's clear, and the world saw it on that debate stage a few weeks ago. A nearly 80-year-old Donald Trump talking about crowd sizes is not what we need in this moment. But it's not just that. It's those that were closest to Donald Trump that understand how dangerous he is when the world is this dangerous. His chief of staff, John Kelly, said that he was the most flawed human being he'd ever met. And both of his secretaries of defense and his national security advisors said he should be nowhere near the White House. Now, the person closest to them, Donald Trump, said he's unfit for the highest office. That was Senator Vance. What we've seen out of Vice President Harris is we've seen steady leadership. We've seen a calmness that is able to draw on the coalitions to bring them together. Understanding that our allies
So we're going to blow up
matter.
Iran or
when
not?
Our allies see Donald Trump turn towards Vladimir Putin, turn towards North Korea, when we start to see that type of fickleness around holding the coalitions together, we will stay committed. And as the Vice President said today we will protect our forces and our allied forces, and there will be consequences.
Governor, your time is up. Senator Vance, the
All right,
same
let's see
question.
it.
Would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? You have 2 minutes.
So, Margaret, I want to answer the question. First of all, thanks, Governor. Thanks to CBS for hosting the debate. And thanks, most importantly, to the American people who are watching this evening and caring enough about this country to pay attention to this Vice Presidential
You're welcome.
debate. I want to answer the question, but I want to actually give an introduction to myself a little bit, because I recognize a lot of Americans don't know who either one of us are.
That's right.
I was raised in a working-class family. My mother required food assistance for periods of her life. My grandmother required Social Security help to raise me, and she raised me in part because my own mother struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my early life. I went to college on the GI Bill after I enlisted in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq. And so I stand here asking to be your Vice President with extraordinary gratitude for this country, for the American dream that made it possible for me to live my dreams. And most importantly, I know that a lot of you are worried about the chaos in the world and the feeling that the American dream is unattainable.
That's true.
I want to try to convince you tonight over the next 90 minutes that if we get better leadership in the White House, if we get Donald Trump back in the White House, the American dream is going to be attainable once again.
Why wasn't
now, to
it
answer
for
this
the years
particular
he was
question,
there?
we have to remember that as much as Governor Walsh just accused an agent of chaos, Donald Trump actually delivered stability in the world, and he did it by establishing effective deterrence. People were afraid of stepping out of line. Iran, which launched this attack, has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets thanks to the Kamala Harris administration. What do they use that money for? They use it to buy weapons that they're now launching against our allies, and God forbid, potentially launching against the United States as well. Donald Trump recognized that for people to fear the United States, you needed peace through strength. They needed to recognize that if they got out of line, the United States global leadership would put stability and peace back in the world.
Do we blow up
now,
Iran?
You asked about a preemptive strike, Margaret, and I want to answer the question. Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys. I think that's the right approach to take with the Israel question.
The bad guys.
Thank you, Senator. Governor Walz, do you care to respond to any of the allegations?
Well, look, Donald Trump was in office. We'll sometimes hear a revisionist history, but when Donald Trump was in office, it was Donald Trump who we had a coalition of nations that had boxed Iran's nuclear program in, the inability to advance it. Donald Trump pulled that program and put nothing else in its place. So Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon than they were before because of Donald Trump's fickle leadership. And when Iran shot down an American aircraft in international airspace, Donald Trump tweeted, because that's the standard diplomacy of Donald Trump. And when Iranian missiles...
That was the one in caps lock, wasn't it?
Near U.S. troops, and they received traumatic brain injuries, Donald Trump wrote it off as headaches. Look, our allies understand that Donald Trump is fickle. He will go to whoever has the most flattery or where it makes sense to him. Steady leadership like you witnessed today, like you witnessed in April. Both Iranian attacks were repelled. Our coalition is strong, and we need the steady leadership that Kamala Harris is providing.
Senator Vance, the U.S. did have a diplomatic deal with Iran to temporarily pause parts of its nuclear program, and President Trump did exit that deal.
Ooh.
He recently said, just 5 days ago, the U.S. must now make a diplomatic deal with Iran because the consequences are impossible. Did he make a mistake? You have 1 minute.
Ooh. Well, first of all, Margaret, diplomacy is not a dirty word, but I think that's something that Governor Walz just said is quite extraordinary. You yourself just said Iran is as close to a nuclear weapon today as they have ever been. And Governor Walz, you blame Donald Trump, who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years, and the answer is your running mate, not mine. Donald Trump consistently made the world more secure. Now, we talk about the sequence of events that led us to where we are right now, and you can't ignore October the 7th, which I appreciate Governor Walz bringing up. But when did Iran and Hamas and their proxies attack Israel? It was during the administration of Kamala Harris. So Governor Walz can criticize Donald Trump's tweets, but effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. Donald Trump has already done it once before. Ask yourself at home, when was the last time, I'm 40 years old, when was the last time that an American president didn't have a major conflict break out? The only answer is during the 4 years that Donald Trump was president.
Damn.
Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to. Nora?
Margaret, thank you. Let's turn now to Hurricane Helene. The storm could become one of the deadliest on record.
The bomb to hurricane.
More than 160 people are dead and hundreds more are missing. Scientists say climate change makes these hurricanes larger, stronger, and more deadly because of the historic rainfall. Senator Vance, according to CBS News polling, 7 in 10 Americans and more than 60% of Republicans under the age of 45 favor the U.S. taking steps to try and reduce climate change. Senator, what responsibility would the Trump administration have to try and reduce the impact of climate change? I'll give you 2 minutes.
Sure. So first of all, let's start with the hurricane, because it's an unbelievable, unspeakable human tragedy. I just saw today actually a photograph of 2 grandparents on a roof with a 6-year-old child, and it was the last photograph ever taken of them because the roof collapsed and those innocent people lost their lives. And I'm sure Governor Walz joins me in saying our hearts go out to those innocent people, our prayers go out to them, and we want as robust and aggressive as a federal response as we can to save as many lives as possible, and then of course afterwards to help the people in those communities rebuild. I mean, these are communities that I love. Some of them I know very personally in Appalachia, all across the Southeast. They need their government to do their job, and I commit that when Donald Trump is president again, the government will put the citizens of this country first when they suffer from a disaster. Now, Nora, you asked about climate change. I think this is a very important issue. Look, a lot of people are justifiably worried about all these crazy weather patterns. I think it's important for us, first of all, to say Donald Trump and I support clean air, clean water. We want the environment to be cleaner and safer. But one of the things that I've noticed some of our Democratic friends talking a lot about is a concern about carbon emissions, this idea that carbon emissions drives all of the climate change. Well, let's just say that's true, just for the sake of argument, so we're not arguing about weird science. Let's
it's a mistake to create a hypothetical.
Well, if you believe that, what would you want to do? The answer is that you'd want to
Most people are too stupid to understand hypotheticals.
In the United States of America, because we're the cleanest economy in the entire world. What have Kamala Harris's policies actually led to? More energy production in China, more manufacturing overseas, more doing business in some of the dirtiest parts of the entire world. And when I say that, I mean the amount of carbon emissions they're doing per unit of economic output. So if we actually care about getting cleaner air and cleaner water, the best thing to do is to double down and invest in American workers and the American people. And unfortunately, Kamala Harris has done exactly the opposite.
Governor Walz, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, we got close to an agreement because all those things are happening. Look, first of all, it is a horrific tragedy with this hurricane, and my heart goes out to the folks that are down there in contact with the governors. I serve as co-chair of the Council of Governors, as we work together on these emergency managements. Governors know no partisanship. They work together because all of the governors and the emergency responders are on the ground. Those happen on the front end. The federal government comes in, makes sure they're there that we recover. But we're still in that phase where we need to make sure that they're staying there, staying focused. Now, look, coming back to the climate change issue, there's no doubt this thing roared onto the scene faster and stronger than anything we've seen. Senator Vance has said that there's a climate problem in the past. Donald Trump called it a hoax and then joked that these things would make more beachfront property to be able to invest in. What we've seen out of the Harris
So his strategy is to try to make Donald Trump look bad.
Is we've seen this investment.
That's what he's going to try and do.
Massive investments, the biggest in global history that we've seen in the Inflation Reduction Act, has created jobs all across the country. 2,000 in Jeffersonville, Ohio, taking the EV technology that we invented and making it here. 200,000 jobs across the country. The largest solar manufacturing plant in North America sits in Minnesota. But my farmers know climate change is real. They've seen 500-year droughts, 500-year floods back to back. But what they're doing is adapting, and this has allowed them to tell me, look, I harvest corn, I harvest soybean, and I harvest wind. We are producing more natural gas and more oil at any time than we ever have. We're also producing more clean energy. So the solution for us is to continue to move forward, that climate change is real. Reducing our impact is absolutely critical, but this is not a false choice. You can do that at the same time you're creating the jobs that we're seeing all across the country.
That's a good point he's making.
What this administration has done. We are seeing us becoming an energy superpower for the future, not just the current. And that's what absolutely makes sense. And then we start thinking about how do we mitigate these disasters.
Thank you. Senator, I want to give you an opportunity to respond there. The governor mentioned that President Trump has called climate change a hoax. Do you agree?
Well, look, what the president has said is that if the Democrats, in particular Kamala Harris and her leadership, if they really believe that climate change is serious, what they would be doing is more manufacturing and more energy production in the United States of America, and that's not what they're doing. So clearly Kamala Harris herself doesn't believe her on this. If she did, she would actually agree with Donald Trump's energy policies. Now, something Governor Walz said I think is important to touch upon, because when we talk about clean energy, I think that's a slogan that often the Democrats will use here. I'm talking, of course, about the Democratic leadership. And the real issue is that if you're spending hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars of American taxpayer money on solar panels that are made in China, number one, you're going to make the economy dirtier. We should be making more of those solar panels here in the United States of America. Some of them are, Tim, but a lot of them are being made overseas in China, especially the components that go into those solar panels. So if you really want to make the environment cleaner, you've got to invest in more energy production. We haven't built a nuclear facility, I think, one in the past 40 years. Natural gas, we got to invest more in it.
This guy's cooking.
Has done the opposite.
I think Vance is doing great.
And also meant that we're doing
Senator,
I do.
Time is up. Governor, would you like to respond?
Well, look, we're producing more natural gas than we ever have. There's no moratorium on that. We're producing
he is? Yeah,
more
I think he's
oil,
doing really well.
No, and like I said, again, these are not liberal folks. These are not folks that are Green New Deal folks. These are farmers that have been drought one year, massive flooding the next year. They understand that it makes sense. Look, our #1 export cannot be topsoil from erosion from these massive storms. We saw it in Minnesota this summer. And thinking about how do we respond to that, we're thinking ahead on this. And what Kamala Harris has been able to do in Minnesota, we're starting to weatherproof some of these things. The infrastructure law that was passed allows us to think about mitigation in the future. How do we make sure we're burying our power lines? How do we make sure that we're protecting lakefronts and things that we're seeing more and more of? But to call it a hoax and to take the oil company executives to Mar-a-Lago, say, give me money for my campaign, and I'll let you do whatever you want. We can be smarter about that, and an all-above energy policy is exactly what she's doing, creating those jobs right here.
Governor, your time is up. The overwhelming consensus among scientists is that the Earth's climate is warming at an unprecedented rate. Margaret?
Thank you, Nora. We're going to turn now to immigration. The crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border consistently ranks.
This is the cats and dogs, guys.
For American voters.
Remember?
Senator Vance, your campaign is pledging to carry out the largest mass deportation plan in American history and to use the U.S. military to do so. Could you be more specific about exactly how this will work? For example, would you deport parents who have entered the U.S. illegally and separate them from any of their children who were born on U.S.
That's
soil?
a good question.
You have 2 minutes.
Great question.
So first of all, Margaret, before we talk about deportations, we have to stop the bleeding. We have a historic immigration crisis because Kamala Harris started and said that she wanted to undo all of Donald Trump's border policies. 94 executive orders suspending deportations, decriminalizing illegal aliens, massively increasing the asylum fraud that exists in our system. That has opened the floodgates. And what it's meant is that a lot of fentanyl is coming into our country. I had a mother who struggled with opioid addiction and has gotten clean. I don't want people who are struggling with addiction to be deprived of their second chance because Kamala Harris let in fentanyl into our communities at record levels. So you've got to stop the bleeding. You've got to re-implement Donald Trump's border policies, build the wall, re-implement deportations, and that gets me to your point, Margaret, about what do we actually do? So we've got 20, 25 million illegal aliens who are here in the country. What do we do with them? I think the first thing that we do is we start with the criminal migrants. About 1 million of those people have committed some form of crime in addition to crossing the border illegally. I think you start with deportations on those folks. And then I think you make it harder for illegal aliens to undercut the wages of American workers. A lot of people will go home if they can't work for less than minimum wage in our own country. And by the way, that would be really good for our workers who just want to earn a fair wage for doing a good day's work. And the final point, Margaret, is you ask about family separation. Right now in this country, Margaret, we have 320,000 children that the Department of Homeland Security has effectively lost. Some of them have been sex trafficked. Some of them hopefully are at homes with their families. Some of them have been used as drug trafficking mules. The real family separation policy in this country is unfortunately Kamala Harris's wide open southern border. I'd ask my fellow Americans to remember when she came into office, she said she was going to do this. Real leadership would be saying, you know what, I screwed up. We're going to go back to Donald Trump's border policies. I wish that she would do that. It would be good for all of us.
Governor, do you care to respond to any of those specific allegations, including that the vice president is, quote, letting in fentanyl and using kids as drug mules, among other things, for children?
Drug mules, not true. But I will say about this, because this is a crisis of this, the opioid crisis. And the good news on this is the last 12 months saw the largest decrease in opioid deaths in our nation's history. 30% decrease in Ohio. But there's still more work to do. But let's go back to this on immigration. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of the largest state and a border state in California. She's the only person in this race who prosecuted transnational gangs for human trafficking and drug interventions. But look, we all want to solve this. Most of us want to solve this. And that is the United States Congress. That's the Border Patrol agents. That's the Chamber of Commerce. That's most Americans out here. That's why we had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. It was crafted by a conservative senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford. I know him. He's super conservative, but he's a man of principle, wants to get it done. Democrats and Republicans worked on this